Hello, everybody, and welcome again to EnglishLogica.com. My name is Ronald A. Goby, broadcasting from a stormy day in Ireland at the moment. I think we have some snow on the way, but it's very rainy at the moment and windy. So today what we're going to do is we are going to look at some vocabulary for happiness. And a lot of the content that we're going to showcase has previously been made for our website and a YouTube channel, but we're expanding some of the content. So I think it's going to be helpful for you all to help you develop your vocabulary and with some of the content that we've developed. And there are synonyms for happiness, idioms, and phrasal verbs related to happiness. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to move on to some of the content that we'd like to show you today. Okay. Now, already on our website and through our YouTube channel, we have a Synonyms for Happiness video. And I'm just going to show you how that's set up. You'll see that we cover words that are in common use and words that you'll find in more advanced exams. So when we say common use, we mean everyday content or everyday speech, or what some people would just call spoken English. And then everything else is a little bit more sophisticated and difficult. And some people taking exams might be interested in some of that more advanced content. So just to give you an idea of how these videos are presented, we look at examples in the different word forms, like we see here: ecstasy, ecstatic, ecstatically. So we have the nouns, adjectives, and adverbs where appropriate, and we give you some examples of them. Okay, so do check out that video. Today we're going to expand a little bit on some of the content that we have here, just to help you, as I said, to expand your vocabulary. Okay, all our content, as you should know, if you don't, all our content on EnglishLogica.com is free, and it's completely free. And everything that we have, there are thousands of pages of content, from vocabulary to comics, videos, grammar, write-ups, etc. We have exams content, business English, and more. Okay, so we'll have a look then at this page. We have a selection of these pages: exam vocabulary and synonyms. And the idea of these pages then is that they help you to expand your vocabulary in relation to the nouns, adjectives, and adverbs that are commonly associated with words related to each of these themes that we deal with. So happiness is the one that we deal with on this page, and what we'll deal with now today. So for example, here in this sentence, we have: I sometimes enjoy playing the lottery. And we point out that enjoy is the verb. When my brother won the lottery, he told me about it with such breathtaking euphoria that it was wonderful to hear. For my part, I was understandably ecstatic. He owed me money. So you see here we call out the adjective, the noun, the adverb, and again the adjective here. This is just to help you identify the different word forms and the parts of speech. Not entirely necessary unless you need to learn the terminology. If you just want to expand your English, expand your vocabulary, then this is a great way of knowing, of learning what words go together and are associated. So for example, here in the nouns we'll start with, we have contentedness, ecstasy, gratification, blissfulness, and euphoria. The little boy had eaten all the ice cream before falling asleep with a look of contentedness on his face. He felt immense gratification as he received his award. It was something he had worked for all his life. In the advanced exams column, you'll see that there are words here like delirium, elation, jubilation, exuberance. All of these words, as I said, they are covered in our previous synonyms for happiness videos. But here you're able to link, or they are linked to our vocabulary database. So for example, you can just click on them and they will bring you to the database entry and gives you lots more information about the frequency of them showing up in certain exams, the meanings, how to memorize them, and different ways. And then they're linked to synonyms and antonyms and we have examples there as well. Okay, so that's just to give you an idea of what these all link to in this column here. So these are all some nouns. Down here, some adjectives then. These help you. So you see exuberance and joy, words for happiness, synonyms for happiness. But here we show you some words to put with them. So, for example, the teenagers approached the task with childlike exuberance. They had been bored for so long. And here, her overwhelming joy. And things were absolutely breathtaking. So you learn how to expand your vocabulary, and your sentences will become much stronger, rather than just learning of synonyms, which really doesn't help. You want to be able to use them practically and to understand how to use them in everyday conversation. Okay, she was overtaken by an almost otherworldly joy, and her eyes lit up with gratification. Okay, we also, in some of these examples, we call out, we give a little note. I was quite gratified by your thoughtful gift. You may not use that. It's a relatively simple word, but you may not use that in everyday speech. So we'll say something like this, perhaps a more literary usage. It might be a bit more archaic, as in it's gone out of fashion. It's an old form. You might find it in maybe more period dramas or things like that. So sometimes you see little notes in our columns as well that will give an idea of how or if to use the word in certain situations. Okay, so you'll see again in the advanced exams that the words are a little bit more advanced, a little bit more complicated, like the jocund celebrations. Their house always seemed to be alive with jocund celebrations of health and happiness. Or he wore a jubilant expression as the presents were handed out. He was just delighted to be sharing this time with friends and family. Or I was just delirious when I heard my favorite band were coming to town. It's been so long since I saw a live show. Okay, so some verbs then for being happy. And of course, we know the noun joy. So here is to enjoy. So I enjoy live music immensely. It always makes me feel happy. Or I relish the thought of tackling that problem. I love a challenge. He adored spending time with her. She always knew how to cheer him up. Okay. And some adverbs then to describe your level of happiness. As I say, each one of these synonyms pages are themed, and not all of them are about emotion. There are some different things, and we'll cover them in later videos. So here are some adverbs. So you could say that you were delighted, but the adverb then helps you to emphasize or to describe how delighted you were. So she was unashamedly delighted with the prize, and she was whooping and jumping for joy. Or he was suspiciously content when we came home, as if it hadn't bothered him at all. They were understandably overjoyed by the response to their ad campaign. Sales went way up. Or we were decidedly ecstatic, or I was tremendously gratified. And over here in advanced exams, I was deliriously happy, or he was unabashedly delirious. So you just see lots of different ways to use these synonyms and the associated adverbs and adjectives that can go with them. And this brings you right back up then to the way we put the sentences together here at the start. And a great exercise for these then at the end is to take the different forms, the different word forms, the nouns, adjectives, adverbs, and verbs, and see what sentences you can put together that conform to the one theme. Okay, so that help you talk about happiness. Now then, what we're going to do is have a look at some words. You'll see on the top of our homepage, or on every page on the website on EnglishLogica.com, that we have a search. The global search is for searching across the website itself, so you don't have to go into each one of these areas here. And we'll search, for example, some idioms related to happiness. So you might have heard the expression on cloud nine. Cloud nine is in our spoken vocab database. We have a number of databases here. When you click on the vocabulary area, you'll see spoken vocab, themed vocab, and advanced exams. And there's different approaches in each one of these. The spoken vocab then is what we have sort of decided is some of the most popular things you're going to hear, and it's really like an everyday speech. So it's really, really worth having a look through these. There's about 2,000 entries and lots of things that you can learn here. So on cloud nine, the meaning extremely happy, or to be extremely happy. So how to memorize is just a quick way of getting these things into your mind to help you learn much more conveniently. So I'm not just happy, I'm on cloud nine. And we have a little analysis. The idiom to be on cloud nine means to be extremely ecstatic or happy. This is a widely used idiom in social and professional contexts. And then examples, then we put them into social and professional contexts here. Adam has been on cloud nine ever since Rachel agreed to marry him. So he's extremely happy. I was on cloud nine when I found out, that my results were clear. Our professional examples then. When I heard that I had got the job, I wasn't just happy, I was on cloud nine. It was a dream come true. Sarah has been floating on cloud nine since we won that lucrative contract, but she needs to come back to reality and quickly refocus because now the hard work starts. Okay, so there's some examples for on cloud nine. Further suggestions down the bottom are things that just relate here. Okay, we can have a look at jump up and down. Okay, so you're jumping up and down. You're very happy. You're very excited. People also use this. You can talk about being angry as well, but we're going to focus on the happiness aspect of it. Okay, so this one here. If we manage to land this deal, I'll jump up and down with excitement. Okay. And we'll search then for that other one, which I think is a good one. We can also talk about someone jumping for joy, of course. But burst at the seams. You can talk about someone bursting with excitement or bursting with joy. You don't really hear about someone bursting with anger. It's not really used the same. Bursting is sort of, you can't contain your excitement and you just sort of explode with excitement. So the meaning here then is crowded or very full of something. Okay, so you're full of excitement. Something is, so this is bursting at the seams. So Stephen was so excited about going to the match, he was almost bursting at the seams. I hope it lives up to his expectations. And here then, these are related. These are the other meanings of bursting at the seams. We're only going to focus on the aspects of happiness here, okay? So this is it's worth keeping this in mind that there are other meanings and other ways to use the same expressions. I'm sure you've all heard this one. This is over the moon. I'm over the moon about this, okay? Similar to being overjoyed. So nothing to do with the cow jumping over the moon in the old nursery rhyme, if you've heard that. So this is to be very happy or excited about something. So to be over the moon is an informal idiom, meaning to be very happy or ecstatic about something. It's a very popular idiom. Paul's favorite team won the big match last night. He was over the moon. I can't say that I'm exactly over the moon about Jennifer marrying someone like John, but if she's happy, then that's all that matters. The shop made a profit last month for the first time. I'm over the moon at how the business is developing. And finally, we are all over the moon after finding out we signed 2 more contracts this week. Okay, so there's just some examples from our website. As you see, we have lots of expressions there. There are lots of idioms if you want to learn idioms. And they're all grouped in groups of 20 and they go on into the hundreds. But there are other forms of expressions as well. The spoken vocabulary is not just about idioms. So we'll have a look then at some more idioms related to happiness. You may have heard some of these before. There are lots out there, and there are lots of phrasal verbs, and we have a few to look at as well. So some idioms. So on top of the world. So to be on top of the world. I'm on top of the world. It just means that you feel like that you've achieved something great, and everything. All your struggles are beneath you now. So you're on top of the world. You're very, very happy. If you're walking on air, that means like you feel light-footed, or there's nothing weighing you down. So the idea is that you're floating almost. You're walking on air. You're so happy. You're so exhilarated. There's an old one here on the left. To grin like a Cheshire cat. If any of you have seen the Alice in Wonderland movies, or of course read the books that have been around for a long time, the Cheshire cat had a big grin on its face, and this is the expression "to grin like a Cheshire cat" just means that you're almost insanely happy. It's uh, a little bit over the top, a little bit crazy, like So in seventh heaven, in lots of old religious traditions, the idea that there are seven heavens is popular, or seven levels to heaven. And to be in seventh heaven means that you've achieved this great happiness or contentment, and that you're just above all sorrow and pain, you might say. So in seventh heaven is another popular idiom for being happy. So a couple of phrasal verbs here. So the phrasal verbs, we just highlighted the phrasal verb itself in blue. So brighten up is the phrasal verb. So brighten up, you might tell someone to brighten up. It's similar to cheer up. So his face brightened up when he was told the good news. So he got happy. He was immediately felt happy. He perked up, and that's usually comes after when someone is feeling a bit down, and they're feeling, and something happens, or they're given something, or they're told something, and goes, he perked up straight away when we told him everything was going to be fine. And then they rejoiced in. Okay, it's a little bit formal. Okay, they rejoiced in, but to rejoice in something, so they rejoiced in the news, or they rejoiced in something good happening. Okay, so cheered up. I'm sure you've all heard that expression, to cheer up or to cheer someone up, and that's a phrasal verb related to being happy. So she cheered up immediately. And then our last two, then just this is a phrasal verb, a little bit longer, of course. We look forward to. I'm sure you've all heard that before. So we're looking forward to a great weekend, or we're looking forward to the end of year celebrations, or the new year, or whatever it is. So we look forward to. So obviously it's something that you expect to bring you happiness. So it's slightly related to happy. So I bounced back. If you bounce back, it's definitely like perk up. It's definitely that it follows something that has brought you down. You've bounced back from the troubles you have, or the trauma you experienced, or the bad patch that you were going through. So you've bounced back from that. Okay. Okay. So if there are any questions, hello, Ricardo. Yes, the dog was barking. He was barking outside. Probably because someone knocked on the door, I think. Um, so does anyone have any questions in relation to anything that we've covered here? Thank you, Janti and Harry. And we tried to cover a lot. We'll say on the website, on EnglishLogica.com. Again, everything is free to look at, and there are lots of different media types, and lots of different formats and approaches that we take to our content. So you'll find whether it's in the spoken vocabulary database, or in videos, or comics, or write-ups and articles, and in the videos, of course, that you'll find on our YouTube channel. We're always putting up new content. Is elation a formal word? Hi, Roni. I'm going to pronounce it. I know I've been speaking to you before on our YouTube channel. Is it Roni English or Ronnie English? My nickname was Ronnie when I was young. I know you're in Brazil, so good to see you joining us. Is elation a formal word? I think it is. Yeah, I think like to be elated is quite formal, and I don't think you'll find many people using it in everyday speech. I feel quite elated. Yeah, I would say it's quite formal. You might use it in writing. You might use it, um, yeah, in a more professional environment, I think, as well. Yeah. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions? If anyone's watching this then after the live broadcast, don't be afraid to ask questions in the comments or make any comments you have, or if there's anything that you'd like to see us covering, let us know. And please visit our website. And Roni or Ronnie or Ronnie, maybe you can tell me, you can write phonetically how I pronounce your name. And I'm sure we'll be communicating soon. Thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.